Hey, Dean here in the secret underground lair. So today we're going to be resawing some of the slabs that we took off that cedar log, getting them into more dimensional kind of lumber, or at least working lumber. Here's a piece that was part of the pith of the cedar log that we milled a little earlier. And you may recall that I was looking at the log. I thought I'd only be able to get about half of it usable. The other stuff was really heavily cracked. So this is what's left of the, I'll call it the pith slice. And this turned out to be a really nice piece of lumber. One of the things that this log has, being originally a utility pole, is some preservative that's been applied to the lumber. And you can see here, for example, this very dark stain that penetrates probably about an inch. I'm going to cut that right off. We don't want any of that to be present in our finished lumber. So that's one of the tasks I've got with milling this stuff up. So our piece that I have currently set up on the table saw, ready to cut, I'm going to cut right down here, just to cut that piece off. Then I have a straight edge that I can use to figure out how much of this I want to get rid of. So our first pass is going to be right up close to this, but we'll be coming in probably about 1.5 inches. So I'll set the fence up for that, get you set up on a tripod so you can see what's going on, and we'll make this cut. So the initial cut that I made, you can see a lot of the dark markings here from the preservative that was added to the log. So I cut another chunk off that, and that's left us with a very nice pure cedar piece. Apart from this hole in it, this is a nice looking piece of wood. A little bit of cracking up here, but I think that'll be okay. So I'll move on to our next piece. So I'm going to take about 1 3/4 off this edge. That'll give us a nice straight edge to cut the rest off. This piece being close to the outside, notice that this surface right about here is almost at the boundary of where the preservative was applied to this piece. So I can only go, it looks like from about here back, where I'd be able to get anything, and it would be a pretty narrow piece. So I think I'm going to leave this alone. I probably won't do anything with this at the moment. It just seems a little bit close to the edge. So let me show you what we do have. So this is what I'm calling our usable lumber out of this, out of that log. Not bad. We can certainly do something with this. And I got a bunch more logs to go, so I can sacrifice the little outside cuts. It just kind of makes an interesting observation about milling the next log, trimming off some of that outside preservative right at the very beginning. So I don't need to waste any time on thin layers that aren't going to give us any wood anyway. So I changed my mind and chased after a couple of those outside pieces. So I got a 3.5 inch board, but not the full length, so he's a short board, probably about 40 inches. And then I took another piece, just made a little thin strip out of one of the other bits. So about a 1/2 inch thick, and the full length almost 5 feet long. Well, that'll be useful for something. Not a bad yield out of that log. I'm pleased with that.